everyone, welcome to EduTap and welcome to today's session. So in today's Finance 360-degree session, I have brought for you a very important RBI notification that is also quite in news. As you can see that multiple newspapers have covered this news article. So the Reserve Bank of India has expanded the scope of the foreign exchange reporting to the trade. So we will discuss that what has happened, that to the trade repository there is the expansion of the foreign exchange transactions reporting. So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session, and this is very important from the examination point of view, from the next year's point of view, as you need to know that what is this foreign exchange transaction reporting that happens, where the reporting happens. So all of this we are going to discuss in today's session, and there is many of the small things that you will understand in today's session. Okay, so let's get started. But before that, give me a thumbs up if everything is fine, if I'm clearly visible, if I'm clearly audible. Okay, and today's session is going to be very interesting because we will discuss a little about the authorized dealers, we will discuss a little about the over-the-counter derivatives, we will discuss about spot transaction, cash transaction, tomorrow transactions. So multiple things to discuss. Yes, it is for 2025 batch. We have already started preparing for the 2025 batch, as you need to have much of the clarity regarding different topics. Okay, so dhire kar you will get the clarity. So good morning everyone. Good morning Sarish. Do give me a thumbs up if everything is fine. So let's move ahead. And before starting with the session, do subscribe to the YouTube channel of EduTap so that you continue getting such relevant videos, and join our Telegram channel for the PDF of the session. So the PDF of the session you will get in the Telegram channel of EduTap, and the link for the Telegram channel is given in the description box below. Okay, so let's start with today's news article. First of all, the reporting of foreign exchange transactions to trade repository. So there is the expansion of reporting that has happened. So the Reserve Bank of India has decided to expand the reporting requirement of foreign exchange transactions and include the foreign exchange spot deals that include the value, cash or the tomorrow also. So we will discuss this in the coming slides to ensure completeness of transaction data in the trade repository of the Clearing Corporation of India. Okay, so now to understand this whole idea that there is the expansion of the foreign exchange transactions reporting, what is this trade repository, so which kind of transactions are reported right now and which transactions will be reported in future. So let's understand about all of this. So let's understand the background first, so that you get the clarity about this news article. Okay, so first let's see a little background. So see, the authorized dealers. Okay, who are the authorized dealers? The authorized dealers are the ones that are authorized to undertake the foreign exchange transactions. Okay, so authorized dealers are typically that have received formal authorization from the Reserve Bank of India to engage in the wide spectrum of foreign exchange transactions. They can provide the foreign exchange. Let's say you want money, you want dollars, okay, and you want to transact in dollars. So you cannot do it directly. You have to do it through a authorized dealer. Okay, so their pivotal role, the authorized dealers have a very important role encompassing facilitating the foreign exchange related activities for both individuals and businesses. So the individuals and businesses in our country, they cannot undertake the foreign exchange transactions directly. They have to get engaged with the authorized dealer. Only the authorized dealers are permitted to undertake the foreign exchange transactions directly. Okay, so authorized dealers have formal authorization to get engaged in the foreign exchange transactions. Now, who are the authorized dealers? So there are different categories of authorized dealers. So the authorized dealer category 1. So in this session we will focus on, for the purpose of the directions regarding reporting. So the authorized dealer shall mean authorized dealer category 1 banks. So authorized dealer category 1 is the highest category of authorized dealers that has got the maximum of the facilities. Okay, so authorized dealer category 1, they have got the maximum, like they are involved, or they can get involved in the maximum of the foreign exchange transactions, and the authorized dealer category 1 is usually consisting of banks. So banks are present in the authorized dealer category 1. So the banks, they can easily get the certification of authorized dealer category 1. Okay, and for the purpose of these directions, the standalone primary dealers authorized as authorized dealer category 3. See, authorized dealer category 3 are some special selected financial institutions and the other institutions. Okay, so authorized dealer category 3 are only some selected financial institutions and other institutions. So selected financial institutions such as the standalone primary dealers, they also come under the authorized dealer category 3. So standalone primary dealers are usually, they are registered with RBI as NBFC. Okay, so standalone primary dealers are usually the NBFCs registered with RBI as standalone primary dealers. They are usually engaged in government securities market, but they can also engage in the foreign exchange transactions if they have got the authorization as authorized dealer category 3. So for these directions, we have to focus on the authorized dealer category 1 banks and the standalone primary dealers authorized as authorized dealer category 3. Okay, only they are the ones that are mentioned in the directions. So authorized dealers, that is authorized dealers category 1 banks and standalone primary dealers authorized as authorized dealer category 3, they have to report all the over-the-counter foreign exchange derivative transactions. So try to understand one thing very clearly, that if the transactions are happening in the National Stock Exchange, in the Bombay Stock Exchange, so the report, or so all the data is already reported with the SEBI or with the NSE, with the BSE, right? If the transactions are happening in the stock exchanges, the data is already circulated, the data is already present with the NSE, BSE and SEBI. But if the transactions are happening over the counter, that means the over the counter derivatives, they are the derivatives that are traded on that are traded on the electronic trading platforms. They are not traded in the recognized stock exchanges. So such derivatives that are not traded on the recognized stock exchange, so those kind of over the counter derivatives, their data is not recorded. From where to get the data of the over the counter derivatives? Okay, so over the counter derivatives, they are not traded on the recognized stock exchange. So they are the derivatives other than those which are traded on the recognized stock exchange, and over the counter derivatives shall include those traded on the electronic trading platforms that are not recognized stock exchange. Okay, so you can understand that the data for the over the counter derivatives, where to get the data for this? That's why there is the reporting requirement that is given to authorized dealers. Okay, so derivatives, I hope you know the basic idea of derivatives. Like let's say you want dollars after a month. Okay, so you can get into the forward contract that after a month I will give you this much of the rupees and you will give me this much of the dollars. Okay, so forward contracts and swaps, they are usually the over the counter derivative. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Till now, any confusion? So over the counter derivative contracts like the forwards, they are not happening in the recognized stock exchange and they are usually happening in the electronic trading platforms. So to get the data for the over the counter derivatives, the RBI has released the guidelines. Okay, so authorized dealers have to report all the over the counter foreign exchange derivative contracts and foreign currency interest rate derivative contracts undertaken by authorized dealers directly or through their overseas entities such as overseas branches, the International Financial Service Center, banking units, wholly owned subsidiaries and joint ventures of authorized dealers that are present in the country, or overseas entities or overseas branches. Okay, so this is the basic idea, that all the authorized dealers that are the authorized dealer category 1 banks and the authorized dealer category 3 standalone primary dealers, they have to report all the over the counter foreign exchange derivative contracts undertaken by them directly or through their overseas branches and overseas entity, okay, to the trade repository. So where the data has to be provided? Should it be provided directly to the Reserve Bank of India? No, the Reserve Bank of India has authorized the Clearing Corporation of India. So Clearing Corporation of India Limited has been designated as a trade repository by the Reserve Bank of India to develop and provide a platform to market participants. So market participants such as the authorized dealers, they can report their over-the-counter derivative deals executed in India to the CCIL. Okay, so all the data, authorized dealers can report all the over-the-counter derivative data to the CCIL because the CCIL has been designated as the trade repository by the Reserve Bank of India. Okay, so the trade repository is an entity, or it is connected with the entity that maintains a centralized electronic record of the over-the-counter derivative transaction data. I hope this much is clear. Any confusion here? Any confusion, anyone? Over-the-counter derivatives for getting the data. See, if the derivatives like the futures, they are traded through the recognized stock exchange, so for that getting the data is very easy because NSE, BSE and different entities are collecting the data. But for the over-the-counter derivatives that are not traded, like the forwards that are not traded in the recognized stock exchange, for that how to get the data? So for that there is the trade repository which will collect the data, and the authorized dealers have to report all the over-the-counter derivative data to the trade repository. So trade repository, that is CCIL, has got the distinction as the trade repository. Storage of trade data will be happening under the trade repository, processing life cycle events like computing, reset, cash flows, obligation and such. Data dissemination, providing the data or disseminating the data for the benefit of market players and regulators. Okay, so this is the basic idea. So reporting of OTC derivative data is very important. So the reporting of the OTC derivative data happens to the trade repository. This enables the authorities like RBI, SEBI and the other authorities to have fair and open access to information concerning an OTC derivative. So it enhances the transparency of information, making available data and position to the regulators in time so that the regulators know that which currency is in demand or which trade is happening over the counter. Okay, so this is the basic idea, to recognize the or to mitigate the systemic risk so that the regulators have the available information. Okay, now coming to the news article. So till now the background is that the authorized dealers have to report all the derivatives, foreign exchange derivative contracts. What about the foreign exchange contracts that are happening immediately? Okay, so till now, authorized dealers only had to report all the over-the-counter foreign exchange derivative contracts that are for a forward, like that are the forwards that are for a future date. But what about the spot deals that are happening in the foreign exchange domain? So to ensure the completeness of transaction data in the trade repository for all the foreign exchange instruments, it has been decided to expand the scope of foreign exchange reporting. So it has been said that the authorized dealers have to report the spot data also, or the foreign exchange reporting that the authorized dealers are doing should be in the complete sense. Not only the derivatives have to be reported now, but also the spot transactions have to be reported. That is, the foreign exchange spot transactions will be reported, including the value cash and value tomorrow deals in a phased manner. Okay, accordingly the transactions, the foreign exchange transactions in the following domains involving Indian rupees or otherwise will be reported to the trade repository. So now anyone has any idea that what is the difference between the spot, cash and tomorrow? Any idea? What is the spot foreign exchange transaction? What is the cash foreign exchange transactions, or the foreign exchange tomorrow transactions? Any idea? So there is a very minor difference between these three. Okay, so all of these transactions are happening on the short term basis. Okay, but there is the difference of 1 day or so in between them. So the cash transactions happen on the same day. Okay, let's say today you have released the trade request that I want to give my rupees and I want to get my dollars, or I want to give the dollars and I want to get euro. Okay, so this is the trade request that you have generated, and this will be settled today only. This will be settled today. Okay, so that is cash transaction. They are traded and they are settled on the same day. So today you are raising the trade request, today your trade request is accepted, and today only, that is T plus 0 means today only it will be settled also. Small cash means immediately. So cash transactions are value today. You will get the value today. You will get what you want today. The tomorrow, which is value tomorrow. So today you are raising the request. Today you are raising the trade request, but tomorrow it will be settled. Tomorrow, that is plus 1 day. So tomorrow it will be settled. Okay. Now spot means T plus 2. That today you are raising the request and within like 2 days will be taken for settling the transaction. So when the agreement to buy and sell happens on the T day, the settlement happens within 2 days. Okay. So this is the basic idea. So the trade will be executed or settled T plus 2. Okay. I hope this is clear. So see the slide once, and I hope this is very much clear. So the cash transaction are value today, that they are settled on the same day. Tomorrow means the transactions are settled on the next day, and spot means that from the trade day the settlement is happening 2 days after. Okay. Yes. So I hope this is very much clear. So this is the basic idea, and you need to remember this. Okay. So now these transactions, see, forwards are usually for 15 days, 1 month or some particular time. So usually it was said, the background is that the derivatives were recorded in the trade repositories. So authorized dealers had to report the over-the-counter derivative contracts to the trade repository. Now the authorized dealers will also have to report their foreign exchange, spot, tomorrow and cash transactions to the trade repository. So this is the whole idea. Okay. Now reporting will happen in which manner? So, and what is the timeline that they have to follow? So authorized dealers shall report all the interbank foreign exchange contracts. Now authorized dealers are the authorized dealer category 1 banks, let's say SBI and PNB. They are getting into, they are, let's say, just an example. So they are the authorized dealer category 1 banks, let's say, and they are getting into a transaction. Okay, SBI is saying that I will give you rupees, PNB is saying that I will give you dollars or something. Okay, so there is a transaction for there is a transaction that is happening. Okay. Okay. So authorized dealers shall report all the interbank foreign exchange contracts undertaken by them to the trade repository of CCIL. So authorized dealer, the interbank foreign exchange contracts that are happening, so that has to be recorded to the trade repository of the CCIL with effect from February 10, 2025 as per the following timelines. So interbank foreign exchange contracts involving INR, that is involving Indian rupees, shall be reported in hourly batches. That is, if 1 hour has finished, so in this 1 hour, how many of the contracts have been done? Within 30 minutes of the finishing of the hour, this has to be informed. Okay. So from the completion of the hour, that 1 hour has finished. So within 30 minutes after that hour, the reporting of the contracts have to happen. Let's say that the CCIL is just going to close within 20 minutes, within 30 minutes. Now the last hour of the trade that has happened, of the interbank foreign exchange contracts that have happened, so that has to be reported by 10 a.m. of the following business day, of the next business day. Okay. So in the last hour, in the last 60 minutes, whatever transactions that have happened before the closing, so that has to be reported next day. Okay. Now the interbank foreign exchange contracts not involving INR executed up to 5 p.m. on any given day should be reported by 5:30 p.m. of the same day. Okay. So that is the basic idea, that if the foreign exchange contracts are not involving INR, so all the contracts of that day has to be reported once only. Such contracts executed after 5 p.m. have to be reported by the next day by 10 a.m. So that is the basic idea. Okay. So these are the reporting requirements, that how the reporting will happen if the interbank foreign exchange contracts are being happening. So authorized dealers have to report the interbank foreign exchange contracts in this manner. Now coming to the client, that if the authorized dealer are providing the foreign exchange or they are offering the foreign exchange contracts to some client, so authorized dealers shall report all the foreign exchange contracts executed with clients to the trade repository of the CCIL in a phased manner. foreign exchange contracts with the value. If the foreign exchange contract that is of value equal to or exceeding $1 million and equivalent thereof in other currencies, like let's say $1 million is equal to 57,000 euros or something. So equivalent in other currencies with effect from May 12, 2025. So foreign exchange contracts that have the value equal to or exceeding $1 million, so their reporting should be happening with effect from May 12, 2025. So the authorized dealers, they have to report all the foreign exchange contracts executed with clients to the trade repository of the CCIL if it is equal to or exceeding the threshold limit of USD $1 million or equivalent in other currencies with effect from May 12, 2025. Okay. The foreign exchange contracts that are having the value equal to or exceeding 50,000 USD. So this has to be informed from November 10, 2025. So this is the reporting rules. So I hope you will remember this, because you can understand that this news is going to be again, like this topic is going to be again in news in May 2025 and in November 2025, that the authorized dealers are providing the data or not. So this topic is again going to be in news in the next year, so it becomes more important. So authorized dealers have to provide the reporting or has to provide the data to the trade repository of the foreign exchange contracts executed with clients with the value equal to or exceeding the threshold limit of USD 1 million with effect from May 12, 2025 and the value equal to or exceeding USD 50,000 with effect from November 10, 2025. I hope this is clear. So foreign exchange contracts that are executed with clients should be reported before 12 noon of the following business day. So all the contracts have to be reported by the next business day by 12 p.m. Okay, so this is the idea. Now some additional points, just 2-3 points are left, the small points. Till now, any confusion anyone has? Any confusion anyone has? So there shall be no requirement of matching the transaction data with the overseas counterparties, with the other counterparties, that is the other party of the trade, and client transactions in the trade repository. So authorized dealers, they are responsible for ensuring the accuracy in respect to transaction report. There is no need for rechecking the data. That is what the RBI is saying. Okay, so there is no requirement of matching the transaction. The authorized dealers will be responsible for ensuring the accuracy of data. Authorized dealers shall ensure that outstanding balances should match between their books and between the trade repository. So whatever transactions is happening, that should be recorded in the trade repository, or that should be reported to the trade repository. So that should be matching in the books and the trade repository. Okay. So the reporting formats shall be as indicated by the CCIL with the prior approval of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So authorized dealers will be reporting the data or in the formats that is given by the CCIL with the prior approval of the Reserve Bank of India. Okay. So authorized dealers have to report the data as per a set format that will be provided by the CCIL after discussion with the Reserve Bank of India. So this is the news article. Okay. These directions are issued under the powers vested in the Reserve Bank of India under section 45W of the Reserve Bank of India Act of 1934. So this is the basic idea, that RBI has released the directions as per the RBI Act of 1934. No, it is not authoritative body. It is a trade repository that is just collecting the data. Okay. It is just collecting the data. It cannot close down a authorized dealer. It does not have the power. It is just collecting the data. The RBI has the power. Even for selecting the format, the RBI's approval is required. So you can understand that the power is with RBI, and specially authorized dealer category 1 banks. So banks power is with RBI. The CCIL trade repository is only collecting the data. Okay. Now before going to the question, let me show you the website of EduTap that we have brought for you. So if you go to the edutap.co.in, so if you go to the edutap.co.in, you will go to the EduTap's website, and if you want to get the information about the examination, you can go to the free material, and in the free material you can go to the blog section, so that you can get the blogs, you can get the information about the examination. So if you go at the end of the website, you will get the exam information, the strategy for any examination that you want to see. Let's say for RBI Grade B, so you will get the exam information, that what is the ESI syllabus, FM syllabus. So exam information is provided here, as well as if you want to see the strategy, you can see the strategy also, you can see the success stories also, that how the toppers have achieved their dream, right? Now if you want to see the courses, so that also you can see from the main page, you can see the courses. Let's say you want to see the RBI Grade B courses, the gold or silver, so you can see that here, okay? So this is the idea. So here you can see the courses, that what all you are getting in the courses. So you can see all of it, and what off is going on, so you can see all of that, okay? So now, then again, trade repository report to RBI. Yes, see, trade repository can release that data for all the regulators that we have seen now. Okay, this is the question. Let me show you. So here it is written now, that making available the data. The trade repositories can make available the data and positions to regulators in timely manner. So trade repository is collecting the data which will be made available to the regulators whenever required by the regulator. Okay, RBI does not have the time to see it on the daily basis. So RBI can see it when there is any problem. Okay, so the trade repositories are collecting the data to enhance the transparency of information to relevant authorities and the public. So the trade repository can also release the data to the public, as well as making available the data whenever the regulator asks for it. Now coming to the first question, let's see how many of you are able to answer this question. So this is a homework question. I hope you all will be able to answer this question. Okay, so this is the first question. Now coming to the second question, very easy. So this kind of question can come in your phase 1, or a paragraph based question can come in the phase 2. So this is the easy kind of question. Okay, so now I hope that everything is clear, and thank you very much for joining the session. I hope you are enjoying the sessions. Okay, so let's meet you in the next session now, that will be held on Thursday, and thank you everyone, thank you for joining. I hope everything is clear. So thank you everyone, thank you for joining, and do give the right answer of the homework question. Okay, thank you everyone.